Who joins the battlefield of broken dreams with nothing but grease-stained hands and a heart full of fire? Meet Victor, a poor mechanic with no rank, no badge, no title, just a wrench, a promise, and a soul that refuses to quit. Victor lived in the shadow of the army base, in a crumbling garage at the edge of town. His father had once been a respected engineer, but after a tragic accident at the plant, the family had fallen into hardship. Victor inherited not just his father's tools, but also his reputation, a mix of pride and shame, remembered by few. Now Victor fixed tractors, bikes, old cars, whatever the locals could barely afford to keep running. His life was small, his dreams tucked away like the rusted blueprints he kept under his cot. Until one scorching afternoon, everything changed. A convoy rolled into the base, bringing with it a war-torn beast, an experimental tank, half destroyed in battle, its systems fried and mechanics baffled. Word spread fast. The tank was unfixable. The military had tried everything. Specialists from different cities had taken a look and walked away shaking their heads. The general in charge was furious, not just about the tank, but about the message it sent, that something made by their hands could be broken beyond repair. When Victor heard about the tank, something stirred in him, not arrogance, not pride, but the deep ache of someone who knows what it means to be dismissed, left behind, forgotten. He marched to the base gates, wiping grease from his palms, and asked to see the general. The guards laughed at him, but then came a voice, rough, commanding. The general himself had overheard. A crowd had gathered. The general stepped forward, looking Victor up and down, unimpressed. Victor said only this: "Let me try. If I fail, I'll leave quietly. But if I fix it, you'll give me a letter of recommendation. One chance. That's all I ask." The general smirked. The best minds couldn't fix it. You think you can do better with a wrench and a prayer? Victor looked him in the eye. Sometimes that's all you need. He was granted one day. Inside the hangar, Victor stood before the giant machine. Scorched metal, tangled wires, shattered hope. He took a deep breath, placing his hands on the tank like it was a living thing. He worked alone, through the night, fueled by memory and instinct. His fingers moved with a strange clarity, recalling his father's teachings, redesigning failed circuits with scavenged parts, making do with what others would discard. The sun was rising when the general walked in, expecting failure. What he saw, instead, was the tank's engine roaring to life. The crew ran in, stunned. Systems were online. Mobility was restored. The unfixable had been revived. The general stood frozen, eyes narrowed in disbelief, then awe. How? Victor, exhausted, simply said, "I listened to the machine, not just the manual." News spread like wildfire. The army issued the letter. Victor thought that was the end of it. But 3 weeks later, a sleek black car pulled up to his garage. A man in a suit stepped out, not military, but corporate. "Mr. Victor Ivanov?" he asked. "Yes, I represent Lockheed Martin. The General sent us your file. We're building something new. We'd like you to be part of it." Victor stood there, stunned, his hands still dirty from an oil change. The world had shifted in a way he never imagined. A poor mechanic who had once fixed bikes for food was now being invited to work on cutting-edge military technology. He didn't speak for a moment, just looked at his tools and smiled. That night, before leaving town, Victor walked to the old garage one last time. He taped a note to the door. "To those who are told they can't, try anyway. You never know who's watching." And that, dear viewer, is how a man with nothing but his hands and heart rewrote his future, not by luck, not by connections, but by refusing to give up when the world called him worthless. So when someone tells you your dream is too big, too broken, too impossible, Remember, Victor, sometimes the best minds aren't in suits, they're in garages. And sometimes the unfixable just needs the right hands.